Last time on Tsukihime, a piece of blue glass moon.
My eyes drop from the bag on her shoulder down to her legs. Wow, he's not even subtle. Coursing with the quiet energy of flowing water, they feel ready to surge into motion at any moment. So, I mean, he's just appreciating how athletic she is.
SpongeBob didn't pay his rent. Get away!
Today's lesson? If you're gonna goon over a girl's feet, then at least ask for consent first. She may have an OnlyFans, you know? Yes, that is the first lesson we're doing for this Let's Play. Shut up!
Hello. I am dying. Hello, everybody. I'm Zenith Warrior Princess, the cutest of ghost buns, and welcome back to Bun Plays, where I continue to add numerous different games into the haunted gaming library, and where Kana is also a librarian. Even though she's a cat, it may be haunted, but I keep very strict recordings of the games that I play. And as such, let us continue with the game that we've been working on, Tsukihime. Now, as per usual, we are bringing out the whiteboard of things that you need to know. These are, I'm doing a thing. Okay, well, you can sit down and let me play. Okay. So the first thing that Phil brought up was that, as her last name suggests, Aoko Aozuki is the sister of a character mentioned in the primer, Toko Aozuki, a character featured in The Garden of Sinners, aka Kara no Kyokai, and Kana is wondering why they're doing this. Yeah, why are they doing this, Kana? She's sniffing my face. They're doing this because they're important characters in the Nasuverse across its different universes, and are primary characters in the visual novel Witch on the Holy Night, which, fun fact, takes place in the same universe as the Tsukihime remake timeline, not the OG timeline though, which is very confusing. Neither one is required to understand the other though. So for now, we're going to take Aoko's role here as a little sneak peek to corners of this universe that we won't be seeing for now, but apparently in Witch on a Holy Night, she has black hair and not red hair. And I'm like, you lied to me. Like the whole point, the selling point was the red hair, and if it's taking place in the same timeline as Witch on the Holy Night, did she just dye her hair? What happened here? I need to know. I really actually want to play Witch on the Holy Night to see how these things connect. We're starting with Tsukihime. I want to play Witch, and we got to play Fate Stay Night, but not just now because no Fate, Phil. We're not doing it yet. So another thing that Phil wanted to note was that while not a character in Tsukihime, Shiki's adopted sister, while living with the Arimas, Miyoko Arima, is a playable character in Tsukihime's fighting game spin-off series, Melty Blood, which Phil has told me a lot about. They gave her a reference here as a result, and I do like her character portrait. I think she's a very good-looking character, so I'm pretty cool with that. Also, while the original Tsukihime is set in 1999, the remake was made more contemporary by taking place in 2014. This can be seen in the contrast between the cities. Whereas the original is much more traditional, the remake has a more robust and busy city. One of the biggest changes to this remake is the addition of new characters. You will see them from time to time, and the purple hair girl from last time is one such instance of that. You know, when we were a creeper and stared at CL's legs. Now, I did that as a joke, but she is right to call him out. I'm just curious if this added character would change their attitude going about it in a different way. Like, let's say if we chose a different option. So, those are all the things that Phil wanted me to get across. But I have a couple other things. Thankfully, we have a little bit of time before the moon does certain things to me. So let's discuss my predictions for the game. So first prediction, last time I said that, I think CL is going to be evil, and I kind of stick by that. I do like her, but she doesn't like cats. So I think that's a precursor that CL is evil. And initially I thought that maybe she would be a vampire, but now I think, Shiki has the eyes of death perception, which he fixes with glasses. What if, CL has the same glasses? So what if she has the eyes of life perception as the opposite of Shiki? Possible. Also, while we're at predictions, Phil is still a vampire. Phil disproved last time, but I still am adamant that Phil's a vampire because she's white and sparkles like Arcueid, and we all know vampires sparkle. So that's a part of how I know that Phil is secretly a vampire. Just think about it.
Bitch, you're whiter than me. Does that make you a vampire?
Finally, I think Kohaku will still be best girl, even though we haven't met her yet. We will romance her, even if we have to be creepy again, like we were with CL. Although, apparently she doesn't have a route this time. We will work around that. This is a horror novel disguised as a visual novel. So, yeah, vampires, a lot of cool stuff going on. Let's see how far we get today. With that being said, I am Zenith, warrior princess, the cutest of ghost buns. Let's begin. The morning passes without the rumor about Miss Toyama spreading much further. This is the rumor that Miss Toyama was murdered. The classroom is a mess now that it's lunch. Some go to the cafeteria, others go to the courtyard, while still others stay in the room and open their lunches at their desks. What should I do for lunch? Okay, so Phil gave me notes for these two choices because he wanted to do certain things for CL's route, which is totally understandable. For the rest of this, I will be making the choices to see what's probably the funniest. But for this, he said, don't go into the hallway. So we're not going to the hallway. We can either meet up with Arihiko or stay in the classroom. I want to stay with Trashiko. Trashiko is my favorite character. Arihiko. Arihiko disappeared after 4th period. He must be saving seats in the cafeteria. I never promised Arihiko that I'd go to the cafeteria with him, but there's no real reason to ditch him either. Just confess that you love him, Baka. I might as well spend lunch there today. The cafeteria looks almost full. The line is so long, it would probably take 10 minutes just to get your order taken. I gaze at the students waiting with their order receipts in hand as I make my way to the table. And for those who don't know, this is another Japanese cultural thing. In America, you usually get to choose when you're there, but in Japan, how they do luncheons is you have an order receipt, you make your order in advance, you take your receipts, and you bring it to the person. It's kind of a little bit more free-form in that way, probably so you can have more time to actually eat your lunch. So, who's the special guest you were talking about?
それがまだおいでになされん。食堂で待ち合わせだったんだが、ちょっと待っててくれ。様子を見てくる。
She hasn't shown yet. We said we'd meet up in the cafeteria. Let me go see what's up. Arihiko hurries out of the cafeteria, leaving his curry udon behind. And oh my god, I want curry udon. You can get that at school? Come on. Another thing that anime has shown us is that apparently you can get mapo tofu as a Japanese item. I'm not entirely sure if that's regular, but like udon, noodles, like I wish I had this at my lunch in high school. I've ordered Chikara udon for myself. I hope he gets back before my noodles get soggy. Another thing that Phil wanted to correct me on that I just remembered. Apparently I said mahjong wrong. I said mahjong instead of mahjong. I'm sorry, I don't play mahjong. No good. Can't find her anywhere. Who was it anyways?
おお、面白い先輩だな。ここ数日アタックして、ようやくランチご一緒ツアーまで取り付けたんだよ。
A third year. I've been trying to get her to have lunch with me for a while and finally got her to agree.
今日は他に約束ができたとかで学校中を走り回ってるらしい。
Sounds like something came up and she's been having to run around a bunch.
忙しい人みたいだね。どうも。
Sounds like quite a busy person.
忙しいっていうか、全自動マッサージ機みたいな人だ。
She sure got a lot of irons in the fire. I don't think she ever stops really moving. Arihiko breaks apart his disposable chopsticks, looking dejected.
ま、今回は仕方ねえよな。じゃ、いただきますと。
Well, too bad. Let's eat.
はい、いただきます。
Yeah, sounds good. We both dig into our udon. A lot of irons in the fire. What a strange way to describe someone. Suffice to say that my curiosity has been piqued. But I'll ask him more about that later.
で、本当のところどうなんだよ。
So, what's the deal?
だって何が？
Deal about what?
今日お前が朝から教室にいた理由。
Why you were in the classroom so early?
いちこさんが家にいるって嘘だろ。あの人、今昼間の仕事についてるじゃんか。
It can't be because of Ichigo. I know she works during the day. Joke's on you, Ichigo is busy fighting off I'm forgetting what the terminology in Bleach was. He busy fighting off Soul Reapers. I ask Arihiko as I slurp my Chikara udon. Ichiko, oh no, it's Ichiko, not Ichigo. Okay, well, Ichiko is Arihiko's older sister, who works full-time. She's a bit of a mystery, but she's always taken good care of us.
ああ、そっか。バレるか。まあ、
You knew, huh? Well,
どの今日から実家に戻るのか？
You're heading back to your old place today, right?
そうだけど、その話したっけ？
Yeah. Did I tell you about that?
してねえよ。俺は姉貴から聞いただけ。
Nope. Heard about it from my sister.
それでだな。
Just wanted to make sure.
今
Oh,
日のブルー入ってないか
don't want to go over
ちょ
his
っと
lines.
確認したくなってな。
Nope. Heard about it from my sister. Just wanted to make sure you weren't, like, going all emo or something over it. Emo? Okay. Yeah, no, he's not emo.
そうか。それで、成果は？
And how did that turn out for you?
早起きするほど面白い見せ物じゃなかったぜ。がっかりですよ、がっかり。
Wasn't worth waking up early, that's for damn sure.
ご期待に添えず申し訳ない。ほんと、有彦暇人だな。
Sorry my struggles aren't entertaining enough for you. You really have too much time on your hands, you know that?
暇人だからゴシップ好きなんですよ。どうのさ、小学生の自分からよそに預けられてたんだろ。
That's why I love me some good gossip. You've been with the Arimas since elementary, right? See, I knew it was the Arimas. Phil wrote it wrong.
それから7年も経つんだ。なんで今になって感動してた息子を呼び戻すんだよ。 お前さんの父親は。
It's been 7 years already. What's your old man thinking bringing you back after disowning you so long ago? Like, yeah, seriously, I want to kick his old man's ass.
感動されていたわけじゃない。なんとなく屋敷から出るように言われただけだ。
I wasn't technically disowned. I was just told to leave the manor for no reason in particular. Yeah, that's a lie.
どうも君ね。なんとなくで子供を家から追い出す過程があったら、それは悲劇じゃなくて笑い話ですよ。
You know, man, usually a family kicking their own kid out of their home for no reason would be so sad it's funny.
ただし、ほら一歩手前。寒すぎて笑えねえけどな。
But that's so cold, even I can't laugh about it. Arihiko laughs in an exaggerated manner. The way Arihiko never takes anything seriously is one of his best qualities. The truth is, my father and I had been on bad terms long before the car accident and hospitalization. That's a mood. That is a mood. The Tono family is a distinguished household, dating back centuries with customs very different to those of a regular family. My childhood memories are of an enormous old house and the oppressive, antiquated practices of the family within. The Tono family is wealthy, with shares in a wide variety of companies. My father, Makihisa Tono, wasn't much of a businessman, but the assets he inherited from my grandfather were more than enough to help his businesses make a fortune. Oh, so we should hate him because he's old money in the stock market. And who the hell knows how stock markets work, am I right? A mansion from another era. Let me guess. Okay. I know this is a trope in the Nasuverse that everyone has a mansion, but I'm guessing that they inherited it from the Einsburn family or something. Like legitimately, why does everyone have a mansion? A high-class lifestyle that valued history and decorum. Any child would have found life in that mansion unbearably dull. Yes, you have to go through life with your head held high. So, when I was told to go live with the Arimas, I had no qualms about leaving my real family behind. Would you say that Chiki is a rebel without a cause? Alright, 1 second, I need a drink. I think it was the best outcome I could have asked for. I got along well with the Arimas. Keiko and Fumiomi treated me no differently than if I had been their child by birth. And I just want to say, Fumiomi is a good name and is one of the weirdest Japanese names that I've heard in a while. So when I first heard it, I had to do a double take. Fumiomi's cool. I had always wanted to be a part of a normal family, and living with the Arimas gave me that opportunity. I don't have any regrets there. With one exception, my sister, Akiha. She was a year younger than me, and I left her behind at the Tono Manor. No, bro. Just leave her, let her go. She's your sister, man. I wonder if Akiha resents me. Okay, that is understandable. I mean, why wouldn't she? I left her in that giant lonesome house with no one for company but that pig-headed old man. Is it just a thing in the Nasuverse for old men to ruin everything? It's not hard to imagine what Akiha thinks of me. Of the brother who ran away from it all. He ran away. He was told to leave.
そうだな。確かに。なんとなくで家から追い出されたら、そりゃ笑うしかない。
Yeah, getting kicked out of my house for no reason. Not much to do about that but laugh.
だろ？おまけに二度と敷居はまたぐなっていう決め台詞付きだ。 世間様ではそういうのを感動って言うんだ。
Right. And considering that they told you never to set foot in there again, that sure sounds like you got disowned to me.
今まで聞かなかったけどな。お前、なんで感動されたんだ？
Why did you get disowned anyway? I've never asked. Yeah. I don't have a good answer for it myself. I think, in the end, it may have just been a lot of unfortunate coincidences. I was unlucky.
ま、話したくないならいい。
Well, if you don't want to talk about it, that's cool. Arihiko picks up his bowl with both hands and drinks down the broth. I want udon right now. Lunch always feels so short. I follow Arihiko's example and quickly down the rest of my food. Yeah, now I want udon, damn it. Alright, we're done with lunch, so we're halfway done with school, which tends to be the longer part of these visual novels. We'll see. School comes to an end for the day. I look out over the schoolyard from my seat, unable to will myself back to the mansion. The classroom, dyed a red-orange by the sunset, looks like a watercolor painting. It makes my eyes throb a little. There's something about Vermilion that's unsettling. Oh, come on. I played Pokemon. Vermilion City's fine. Now, Lavender Tower, on the other hand. As the hue pierces my eyes, I'm hit with a wave of nausea. I guess I have trouble with anything that reminds me of blood. The reality is, I've grown weak to it. That's a mood. Like, I get vasovagal spells, I faint when I draw blood. Like, blood is not good for me. Which is weird because I would love to be a vampire even though I'm a ghost. That's why, Phil, turn me into a vampire. Oh. Turn me into a vampire, Phil. as I say as the blood fills the screen. 7 years ago, I was on the verge of death. I was caught in a terrible accident. A building collapse. Dang. My wounds were so severe that most people thought I didn't have a chance. Luckily for me, all of my injuries were focused in one place, and my doctors were able to get to me fast. It almost feels like it happened to someone else. Thinking back like this, there's a lot I still don't know about it. Something struck my chest with such force that it impaled me. I passed out immediately. So, Shiki has the worst luck. He was hit by a car and caught in a building collapse in the same year. Like a machine that had its plug pulled. All I remember after that is the pain and the cold. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. The scar still remains on my chest. From what they told me, I not only hit my back hard, but a piece of glass pierced my chest as well. The piece of glass moon. That's how I got the burn-like scars on my chest and back. When I was finally able to look at the wounds, I almost passed out from the sight of them. Ever since then, I've been prone to bouts of anemia. I've caused a lot of trouble for the people around me, collapsing suddenly all the time. Wow, this is a mood. This feels a lot like me in certain areas back when I was alive. I assume that's why Maki Hisatono, my father, decided that I wasn't healthy enough to be his heir. My chest. I hold down the urge to vomit. And I like how the cracks appear whenever he has these sensations. I breathe deeply, waiting for the needling in my eyes to subside. A mark of death hidden under my school uniform. Yeesh. I've been able to see the lines ever since the accident. It's only thanks to the glasses Master gave me that I've kept some semblance of a normal life. Without them, I'm sure I would have gone mad a long time ago. Keiko was worried that the Tonos weren't normal when we said goodbye this morning. But there was no need. The reason being, I'm hardly normal myself. Well, as you say, and as Halloween Town would say, being normal is vastly overrated. I push my glasses back up the bridge of my nose and grab my bag. I can't stay in the classroom forever. Alright, so the other choice that Phil wants me to do is he doesn't want me to, he wants me to go back to the manor and not wander around the school. Okay, so we're going to wander around we're going to go back to the manor, I'm sorry, Phil, I'm not trying to be a disobedient bunny, stop yelling at me. Let's go back to the manor. And while it changes, I'm just going to pull up the flowchart real quick to see how many... I see. So there's 2 different outcomes of this probably previous choice. Interesting. Very interesting. I like having this flowchart. It helps me go directly to the manor. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. My path home is different from the one I took yesterday. It leads me from a compact middle-class neighborhood to one where large, expensive houses line the street. Every step brings me closer to the Tono mansion. The area isn't completely unfamiliar to me. It may have been 7 years ago, but I have vague memories of this place from when I was 10. It's a strange feeling. This path feels both new and familiar at the same time. I climb up a long hill. And I just want to say, like, the detailing in these CGs, like the background art, so good. I am kind of blown away. Like, this is far and above the best work I've seen from the Nasuverse. The rows of houses disappear from my view. The smell of greenery tickles my nostrils. Achoo! Yeah, last night I've been having some really bad allergies lately. So yeah, ghosts get allergies. Shut up, and I can phase through walls. We phase through objects at will, but I'm still allergic to Kana, which is why I tell her to go organize the games. And you know what she did? She's out sitting there sleeping on the cat tree. I may be in the middle of the city, but this place feels anything but modern. Almost everything from here on is owned by the Tono estate. Oh, they rich. The mansion I lived in until the age of 10. The only things left for me there are old memories and relatives that I never got along with. Though now, only one close relative remains in the mansion. Makihisa Tono, the father that hated me so much, passed away the other day. My mother died from an illness the year that Akiha was born. Oh, I wonder if he blames Akiha for that. So the only Tonos left will be my sister and I. As the eldest son, I would have taken over as the head of the family. But I no longer have that right. Being the Tono heir means a restrictive and cloistered childhood. I don't know how many times I was told off by my father for trying to escape all that. Look, have you tried... You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of The Greatest Showman, where, like, the woman's just trying to get away from all that shit. That's why, when I was left defective after my accident, he took the opportunity to cast me out. I'm sure he felt that, even though I was the eldest, he couldn't leave the family in the hands of someone who could keel over dead at any moment. We are not a liability just because we have disabilities. To my father's surprise, I recovered, but Akiha had already been chosen as the next heir to the Tono family. Akiha had been raised as the prize daughter of the Tono, but after my accident, she had to ensure a harsher education befitting her new station. Endure. We played together in the gardens until I was 10, but I haven't seen her once since then. And now it's been 7 years. I wonder how the Tono mansion had changed. I won't have to wonder for much longer. If anything should come to mind now, it would be... Okay, this is a choice that I get to make. I don't want to think about him. I don't want to think about my sister. Someone else I played with as a kid. There were actually quite a few people living in the mansion other than Makihisa and Akiha. A number of relatives occupied the main building. The servants, on the other hand, stayed in a separate one. Ooh, can we meet Kohaku finally? They're vague, but I do have memories of playing with children other than just Akiha. Oh, that's so colorful. I love it. I seem to recall... No, I can't quite remember. A lot of people came in and out of the mansion back then. According to Keiko, Makihisa was trying to aggressively expand the business at the time. Oh, he's one of those guys. Fuck him. She said it was so busy back then that it would be stranger if I did remember everyone. But right now, I guess the old man comes first, even though he was an asshole. Like, seriously, their choices are asshole father, think about a sister where I don't want to go down that route, and Kohaku, I'm gonna choose Kohaku. Memories of my father spring to mind, though I don't recall us doing anything together. Makihisa was a strict father. He was quiet, rarely showing much emotion. Oh, one of those types. Do not leave the house, do not go into town. Always remember that people are born into their status, and those without our noble blood are of inferior stock. He was a fascist? Such was the ethos of Makihisa, the asshole, and the Tono family at large. Wow, okay. I rebelled against their principles. Damn right! Damn right! For those about to rock, we salute you. I felt my father's teachings were wrong. And they were. In real life, they were. It wasn't from any fault in his logic, though. He just couldn't convince me that his beliefs were right. Shiki, there's a fault in his logic because... How can you tell what stock is? Like, just because you're highborn and bred doesn't make you any different from someone who's poor. It seems strange, but they felt behind the times, even as a child. I mean, according to Phil, this isn't 1999, this is like further into the future, let me pull this up just real quick. I want to see what time zone it is. This takes place in 2014. In 1999, it would have been behind the times. In 2014? In 2014, this is way behind the times. I wasn't the only one who disagreed with Makihisa, but I was the only one who did it to his face. I like Shiki. I didn't think I would, but I like Shiki. As a result, I often left the manor in contempt of his rules, which ultimately led to my accident. The world that lies beyond the manor is an unsightly place. It is a hemlock of the mind. How ironic. In the end, my father was right about that in a way. After waking up in the hospital, he never came to visit me, not even once. The bastard. My last memory of him is the day I was discharged from the hospital, the day he commanded me to stay with the Arima family. And now, he's gone. Not seeing my father before he died doesn't particularly bother me. That must speak volumes about our relationship. The main gate is shut tight. I remember thinking it was big when I was a child, but after living in a normal house, I realized just how massive this place is. The mansion sits on a high hill overlooking the city, giving the Tonos a view of all they control. The grounds alone are bigger than my high school, including the forest behind the manor, and it's easily triple the size. Surrounding the perimeter is a wall of trees and a long fence, preventing outsiders from peering inside. The entrance at the main gate is closed, turning away those who would seek entry. Next to the massive gate for cars to pass through, there is a smaller door for people. I hesitate for a moment before pressing the call button. It doesn't make any noise as I push it, even though they made a sound effect in the game. I heard that. After a few seconds, the lock opens with a welcoming click.
ここのドア全自動になったんだ。昔は守衛さんがいたんだけどな。
This door is automatic now. I remember a guard used to stand here. I open the heavy door and pass through the stone gate. The door gives a satisfying clunk behind me, locking itself again. And now we are in prison. I make my way along a gently sloped path deeper into the grounds. The walkway, surrounded by tall trees, feels almost like a tunnel. It stretches 40 meters east, then turns at a 90-degree angle to the north. Memories flood back with each step that I take. I know this path. I've walked it many times. Just a little further, I reach the corner. My feet guide me towards the north, the rest of my body following closely behind. Then, on the left. That's a big house. It's a very big house. The Tono Mansion, its great white walls standing at attention. A sigh escapes my lips in a combination of wonder and resignation. The mansion looks just like it did back then. According to my father, the building has been the same since my grandfather inherited it from his grandfather, though it was repaired once after the war. For the past few centuries, it's been a seat of power, passed from one generation to the next. This is a holy ground for Makihisa. No, for all those related to the Tonos. A holy grail war. I remember seeing different adults vying for a piece of it, currying favor with the old man while staying at the mansion for the yearly family meeting. They were all extremely successful business people with their own fancy homes, but for whatever reason, they were obsessed with the Tono Manor. I'm telling you, it's a seat of power where the Holy Grail War was going to take place. Getting to live there must have been a point of pride for them. It all sounds ridiculous. It's just a big fancy house to me. I've never been comfortable with being privileged. Guess it's time. There's no going back now. A small doorbell is placed next to the comparatively huge double doors. I shake off my nerves and ring the bell. There is no familiar ding-dong. The heavy silence continues for a few seconds. The sound of hurried footsteps comes from the other side of the doors. We have been eagerly awaiting your return. The doors swing open with surprising ease for their size. Oh, they're rich. I narrow my eyes at the waning afternoon light streaming through the windows. I had meant to prepare myself for the sight, but my breath catches as I look over the gigantic lobby. What astonishingly beautiful architecture. It feels like I've traveled to a different country in a different time. The look of the manor is so old-fashioned, even the very air itself seems foreign. Even so, the lobby still feels familiar. There's best girl. I find myself frozen as the girl who answered the door stands before me, dressed in traditional attire. Ah, thank goodness. It's so late I was worried that you had gotten lost. I was going to go looking for you if you hadn't arrived by sunset. The girl, wearing an apron over her kimono, smiles brightly.
Yeah.
Oh, I find myself speechless at this unexpected welcome. I was expecting the stony-faced man who served as my father's assistant and butler to be the one to greet me. Huh? The girl tilts her head, likely wondering at the reason for my hesitance, like I'm doing right now. Tilt. You are Master Shiki, aren't you?
はい。様っていうのはその余計だけど。
Yes, though you really don't have to call me master. That's it. That I figured it out. Shiki is actually a summoned servant for the Holy Grail Wars. I knew it. Please don't scare me like that. I thought I had messed up again. I love her. The girl wags her finger like a mother admonishing her child. She seems genuinely upset with me for having worried her, yet even so her smile never fades, nor does the warmth emanating from her. An apron draped over her kimono, coming to greet me and calling me master. That must mean...
すみません。もしかしてここのお手伝いさんですか?
Excuse me, are you a housekeeper here by any chance? The girl answers my question with a smile.
さあ、お疲れでしょ
I'm sure you're tired.
遠慮せずに上がってくださいな。秋葉様がお手すきになるまで居間でおくつろぎください。
Please come in. Feel free to have a rest in the parlor until Mistress Akiha is available. The girl motions for me to follow her and begins walking. We move towards the hallway on the east side of the lobby, next to the giant staircase. I seem to remember that the parlor is just inside the hallway. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna ask her name. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. I want to know who she is. I decide to call out to her and ask her name. I can't just be calling her Miss Housekeeper the whole time. Housekeeping?
Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Oh my god!
I said no. Okay, I clean.
すみません。名前を聞いていいですか？
Excuse me, can I ask your name?
来たばかりで、今のうちの事情がよくつかめなくて。
Sorry, I'm still just trying to get my bearings. I call out to her. The kimono-clad girl looks at me, surprised.
琥珀と申します。このお屋敷で遠野家のご当主様に仕えさせていただいております。
My name is Kohaku. I am Best Girl. I act as Mistress Akiha's personal attendant. And I think what gets it is like the red hair, the apron, and the kimono, all of it ties together to make her regal, like the ribbon. But now that I think about it, is Aoko related because of the red hair? Or am I just way overthinking this? The girl, Kohaku, gives a slight bow and a smile. It's a lovely kind of gesture, somehow evocative of a bud blooming into a flower. The girl leads me to the parlor. The parlor looks so much fancier compared to what I remember. It's like seeing it for the first time. Either I'm just too used to how things were with the Arima family, or they've made this room even more extravagant since I was last here. Regardless, this place feels like someone else's home. I look around the parlor restlessly.
借りてきた猫ちゃんみたいですね。
You look like a stray kitty.
お気持ちはわかりますが、どうぞ楽にしてくださいまし。ここは四季様の家なんですから。
I know how you feel, but please try to sit back and relax. This is your home after all.
そうですよね。
Yeah, you're right. Flustered, I lower myself onto the sofa. It's pathetic how overwhelmed I've become from simply returning home. The kimono-clad girl makes her way over to a cart in the corner of the room and pours a cup of tea from it. She places the cup on a tray and carries it over to me.
どうぞ、そちですが。
Here, have some tea. Would you like some tea, Miss Nesbit?
ありがとうございます。
Thanks. I can't help but feel a sense of embarrassment, being waited on with such a warm smile. I think that's just who I am, rather than someone that comes from living with a more modest...
秋葉様に声をおかけしてきますので、しばらくお待ちください。そうですね。おそらく10分ほどかかりますから、それまでお屋敷の中を見て回るのもよろしいかと。
I love her expressions. I'll go check on Mistress Akiha, so please wait here. Actually, it should take around 10 minutes, so please feel free to have a look around the mansion if you'd like.
いいんですか？勝手に歩き回って。
Is it really okay for me to just wander around?
何をおっ っしゃいますやら。ここは四季様のお家です。勝手も何もございません。
This is your house too, you know. Please, by all means.
いえ、でも2階はちょっと行けませんね。明葉様がいらっしゃいますから。
Though you won't be able to go up to the second floor while Mistress Akiha is there.
1階でしたらお好きにご観覧ください。
The first floor should be fine, however.
四季様にとっては7年ぶりのお屋敷ですもの。懐かしくて胸が弾んでいますでしょ。
I'm sure you must be over the moon to be back after 700. I'm sure you must be over the moon to be back after 7 whole years. Over the moon. Are you the vampire? She smiles mischievously. Please excuse me. Kohako gives a slight bow and leaves the room. Well, now what? My muttering echoes sadly through the extravagant parlor. Do I stay here sitting nervously, or do I take a look around the mansion? I'm gonna take a look around. I think this is a good time. 10 minutes. 10 minutes, huh? Maybe I'll take a look around if I have that much time. I should have time to look around the East Wing at the very least. I need to walk off some of these nerves anyway. I rise up from the couch. I think I remember the rec room had a billiards table and a dartboard in the West Wing.
おや、戻る前に立ち寄ったのだが、先客がいたとはね。
Oh, I thought I'd stop by before I returned, but I didn't realize they were expecting a guest. A voice calls out the moment I step into the lobby. I turn to the giant staircase to find... What the fuck is up with your face, man? A strange man dressed head to toe in black.
こんにちは、四季君。塔の邸にようこそ。というのは間違いか。君の場合、お帰りというのが正しかった。
This is literally... Okay. Hello there, Shiki. Welcome to the Tono Mansion. Oh, but I suppose in your situation, I should be welcoming you home. The man who, based on his voice, I'd assume is in his 30s, descends the stairs calmly. There is not a trace of color on him. His entire body is wrapped in black bandages. He looks like he stepped straight out of a mystery novel.
あなた。
And you are?
覚えていないのか。
Do you not remember me? I don't remember anyone with facial wrappings on them, that's for sure.
そうか。私だよ。佐伯ゴートだ。
Ah, I see. It is I. Goto Saiki.
君が子供の頃に何度か顔を合わせたことはあったが、このなりではね。覚えていても一致はしないだろう。
We met a number of times when you were a child, but I'm not surprised you don't recognize me. Psyche? Was there a branch family with that name? More importantly, this man.
構わんよ。キーの視線には慣れている。
It's alright. I'm quite used to strange looks.
私は事故で顔を焼いてしまってね。随 前からこうでもしないと出歩けないからだなっている。日の光は特に厳しい。
I was burned in an accident. I have a difficult time going outside without these bandages. The sun is harsh on my skin, you see.
秋葉にも煙たがられているが、こればかりは仕方のないことだ。彼女にも責任の一端はあることだしね。
Akiha finds my presence disturbing as well, though it is understandable. She is partially responsible after all. Goto Saiki gives a self-deprecating laugh as he lifts his left hand up to shade his eyes. The glare from the skylight must be too bright for him.
しかしまあ、よくも帰ってこられたものだ。
I have to say, I am surprised you had the audacity to come back here. Huh?
君のことだよ、四季君。牧久の言いつけを破って屋敷を抜け出した結果、くだらない事故に巻き込まれて脱落した。
Why, your circumstances, Shiki. Not only did you fail to follow Makihisa's orders to stay in the mansion, you ended up injuring yourself in that foolish accident. We're not too different, you and I.
脱落。そう、脱落だ。君はご両親からの投資を投げ捨て、自らの義務を放棄した脱落者だ。にもかかわらず、こうして屋敷に戻り、秋葉の兄として振る舞おうとしている。
A failure. Yes, that's what you are. You ignore all obligations, waste every investment your parents put into you, and still dare to come back here to play big brother to Akiha?
そんな自分が恥ずかしい。
Are you not ashamed of yourself? I resist the urge to confront him. The contempt in Goto's eyes is obvious, but there's no reason to escalate things further. Besides, he isn't wrong.
おや、反論はないのかな。
Oh, nothing to say for yourself?
ないですよ。義務を放棄したのは事実ですから。
No, what you say is true. I ignored my obligations.
脱落者とか投資とか家族の話にそんな言葉を使うあなたこそ恥ずかしいとは思わないんですか？
But don't you feel any shame spouting off about our family like that?
家族の話だからこそ的確な言葉を選んだ。
I've chosen my words as such precisely because this is your family.
養育は一族の将来への投資だ。知性の人間はともかく選ばれた血筋、尊い家系において個人の自由は存在しない。
Education is nothing more than an investment into the future of one's family. There is no such thing as freedom for those of noble blood.
いや、自意識と言ってもいいんだ。それらは成人した後、一族を背負えるようになって初めて獲得できる権利のはずだ。
Freedom. No. Perhaps what we should call it is self-awareness. One only has the right to it after learning to live for the family.
君は遠野の子でありながらそれを理解していなかった。秋葉とは似ても似つかぬ三流だ。まあ、一度地に落ちていながら帰ってくる高顔さだけは一流と言えなくもないよね。
You never understood your place. Compared to Akiha, you are nothing. Though, perhaps I should commend you, as few would have the gall to show their face here again.
そう、睨むな、四季君。今のはただの客観論だよ。私個人の評価じゃない。
Don't look so angry, Shiki. I'm merely stating an objective truth. I assure you it's nothing personal. Goto, I may like your design and your voice, but go to hell. You go to hell and you die.
誤解させてしまったようだが、私は君の帰還に反対はしていない。どちらかというと賛成派だし、そもそも遠野家現当主の決定でもある。よそ者である私にどうこう言えることでもないだろう。
I seem to have confused you. I'm not against your return. If anything, I'm for it. Besides, it's a decision by the head of the family. An outsider like me has no right to complain. Isn't that right? An outsider? He isn't part of a branch family?
佐伯家は祖父の代から遠野家とは対等の付き合いをしている。現代風に言うとビジネスパートナーというやつだ。
The Psyche and Tono houses have been of equal standing since my grandfather's time. In modern terms, I suppose you could call us business partners.
今日は商談に来ただけでね。長引いてしまったが、色良い返事をもらえて上機嫌で帰るところだったのさ。
We finished discussing new arrangements today. The meeting lasted longer than expected, but it went well. So I was about to go home in a fabulous mood.
ああ、この陰気な姿でせっかくの帰郷に水を差すのも忍びない。今日この辺りで失礼するよ。
Ah, but I won't darken your homecoming with my presence. Please excuse me. The bandaged man, Goto Psyche, passes by me and walks towards the entrance, all the while his lips curled in a sarcastic smile. I bite my lip, thinking of the word Psyche used. Failure. He's right. The word describes my place in this household perfectly. Regardless, I should go back to the parlor and calm down. I'll walk around later. I don't want to ruin my first meeting with Akiha in 7 years by feeling like this. Well, that was cool. I'm glad I chose that choice. Like, legit, I'm intrigued by Goto now. Excuse me. The girl returns exactly 10 minutes later. Is something the matter, Master Shiki? She must be able to tell that Goto Psyche's words have affected me.
いえ、なんでもないんです。ちょっと気をされているだけで。お茶、ありがとうございました。美味しかったです。
No, it's nothing. Just feeling a little overwhelmed. Thank you for the tea. It was delicious.
お上手ですね。
Well, aren't you a flatterer? I love her.
こちらこそお褒めいただきありがとうございます。
Thank you for the kind words. She smiles bashfully, brightening the room.
それより本題ですね。
Anyway, thank you for waiting.
お待たせいたしました。アキハ様のご用事がお済みになりましたので、執務室においでください。
Mistress Akiha has concluded her business, so please come with me to our office. Yeah, I'm gonna say right now, Kohaku, best girl. We ascend the large staircase in the lobby to the second floor. Akiha's office, the heart of the Tono family. I was never allowed to enter Makihisa's office when I was a child. A room occupied by each generation's family head. And that room now belongs to my sister. Wow, pretty.
In stark contrast to the bright white of the parlor, the office is colored a dark red. Luxurious curtains line the windows. A deep crimson carpet, immaculately kept, is placed on the floor. The refined air to the room is thick with a sense of history. This is where Makihisa Tono once presided as the head of the family, and now it's where Akiha will carry that burden forward.
四季様をお連れしました。
Master Shiki, mistress.
ご苦労様。仕事に戻っていいわよ、琥珀。
Thank you. You may return to your duties, Kohaku.
はい。それでは失礼いたしますね。
Understood. Please excuse me. Kohaku gives me a slight bow before exiting her room. No, the room, sorry. The only people left in the room are myself and two girls I don't recognize.
お久しぶりですね、兄さん。
It has been a while, hasn't it? The dark-haired girl casts a dignified gaze at me as she speaks. My head is blank. The gears in my brain have stopped turning. All I manage to do is nod and agree. I'm pathetic, though I suppose it may be understandable. She looks so different from how I remember her.
兄さん、何かこの部屋に不審な点でも？
Shiki, is there something you find disagreeable here? The black-haired girl narrows her eyes, as if she were measuring up a stranger. No. Nothing coherent escapes my lips as my mind struggles to catch up. I'm still trying to figure out if she's really my sister or not, even though she's clearly already accepted who I am.
話には聞いていましたが、本当に体調が不安定なんですね。時間は無駄にしますが、私からの話の前にお休みになられますか？
It seems your condition is as poor as they say. Would you like to rest before I speak with you? Though it would be a terrible waste of our time. She frowns. Her words seem to have more bite to them than I expected.
いや、体調はそう悪くない。秋葉があんまりにも変わってたんで、びっくりしたというか。
No, I feel fine. I was just surprised at how much you've changed.
7年も経てば変わります。ただでさえ私たちは成長期だったんですから。それともいつまでも以前のままだと思っていたんですか、兄さん。
Of course I have changed. It has been 7 years and I was only a child then. You, on the other hand, are just as I remember you, my dear brother.
いや、それは。
I stammer, crushed under the weight of her quiet ferocity. I can fix her, but she's my sister, so I can't. I shouldn't. I feel bad. After all this time, it hadn't even occurred to me to think about Akiha may have changed. I had only thought of her as the little girl who used to follow me around. The last 7 years haven't only been hard on me. I'm an idiot for it to only sink in now that she's right here in front of me.
面目ない。正直考えが足りなかった。
I'm sorry. Honestly, I hadn't thought things through.
でも、
Even
そ
so,
れにしたって秋葉は変わったよ。昔より格段に美人になった。
even so, you really have changed a lot, Akiha. You've become even more beautiful. Okay, stop right there. Stamp right here, don't date your sister. Clearer words finally filter their way out.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
兄さんは以前とあまり変わってはいませんね。
You look much the same as you did. Akiha speaks coldly, her eyes closed. Yeah, I can kind of see why they changed Arcueid's character to be less of like, you know, like this, because if they already have a more stoic, cold character, they didn't want to repeat that. I get that. Well, I had expected something like this. She must resent me for leaving the family. A silence falls over us as we take a second to study one another. I was unable to say anything worthwhile to a sister that I hadn't seen in 7 years. Akiha stares at me with a guarded expression, inspecting me as if I were some intruder, though to her I very well may be.
まあいいでしょう。
Well then,
体調が良いのなら話を済ませましょう。
if you are feeling up to it, then let's get this over with, shall we?
今回の移転について詳しい事情は聞いていますか？
Have you heard the details behind the reason for your move?
いや、詳しい事情は何も。いいから屋敷に帰ってこいって話だけだ。親父が亡くなったことは新聞で知ったけど。
No, nothing. All I heard was that I was to come back here. I learned of our father's death from the newspaper. It's not at all surprising that the death of someone presiding over a massive conglomerate would make the business section of most papers. We live in a world where a son, disowned by his family, learns of his own father's death on the internet. The news reached me after his funeral had already happened, like I was a complete stranger.
申し訳ありません。お父様のことを兄さんに知らせなかったのはこちらの失策でした。
My apologies. I should have sent word of his passing. Akiha lowers her head quietly. Her hair is beautiful. But that's not important right now. Stop ogling your sister. My wording was the problem here.
そこは気にしなくていいんじゃないかな。
You don't have to feel bad about that.
俺が言ったって死人が生き返るわけでもないんだ。逆に親戚筋に合わなくて助かった。
It's not like me going would have brought him back to life. Besides, you saved me from having to deal with our relatives. I can't imagine they would be kind to me.
そうですか。
Is that so?
そう言っていただけると私も少しは気が楽になります。
It puts me at ease to hear you say that. I'm lucky to have such an understanding sister. A funeral is an occasion that offers closure to those unable to accept the passing of a loved one. My relationship with my father ended a long time ago. I have no obligation or desire to attend something like that for Makihisa. I haven't once thought about how I'd say goodbye to him.
でも、そうなると誰が俺を呼び戻したんだ？
But if that's the case, then who called me back?
親父の遺言ってわけでもないんだろう。
There's no way it was in his will, right?
兄さんをこちらに呼び戻したのは私の決定です。
I was the one who called you back here.
いつまでも遠野の長男が有馬の家に預けられているのはおかしいでしょ。どんな欠陥があろうとあなたは遠野の人間なのですから。
We can't have the eldest son of the Tono family stay with the Arimas forever, now can we? Regardless of your defect, you are still a Tono. I accept the word defect without a second thought. It's not a defect to have a disability. My father used it often.
It doesn't bother me anymore, and if anything, she's right.
お父様、当のマキヒサが亡くなった以上、当の血筋は私と兄さんだけです。
Now that father... now that Makihisa Tono is dead, you and I are all that remain of the Tono family.
血は守られなければいけません。
Our blood must be protected, especially from those vampires.
お父様がどのような考えで兄さんを有馬の家に預けたかは知りませんが、そのお父様もすでに他界なさった。
I do not know why father decided to have you stay with the Arima family, but he is no longer with us.
理由が定かではない以上、当の指揮をこちらで監督するのは家族として当然のことでしょう。
Without a clear reason, it is only natural that you would be placed under the supervision of your direct family. Akiha's words are quiet but firm, as if she were shutting down any possible objections I could have before I even raised them.
監督するか。じゃあ、もし遠野の家に帰ることを拒否してたらどうなっていたんだ？
Supervision, huh? What would have happened if I refused to come back?
そんな自由はあなたにはありません。有馬の人間にも本家からの決定を拒む権利はありません。
You do not have that kind of freedom, nor does the Arima family have any right to deny the main family.
私も兄さんも遠野家に育てられたものです。少なくとも成人し、社会的に自立するまでは、あなたは遠野家に隷属する義務があります。
Both you and I were raised by the Tono family. You have a duty to this family until you come of age, at the very least. Makihisa used to say the same thing. Parents are responsible for raising their children and preparing them for society. Just like any good business, a family can't be sending defective products to a market. Wow. It would only serve to harm their good name and degrade society as a whole. An individual unwilling to remove such a product has no right to be a parent, and a child unable to bear the responsibilities given unto them has no place in the family. Makihisa Tono spoke of this many times to Akiya and I, almost like it was more for him than us.
親父の口癖だったな。
Dad did always say that.
じゃあ、俺を呼び戻した理由は単に。
So that's why you had me come back then, to recall... She cuts me off without any consideration for her poor brother, disowned by his narrow-minded father.
どのような経緯であれ、あなたが遠野家の長男だからです。
You are the eldest son of the Tono family, regardless of the circumstances.
それ以外に理由があるとでも。
Do I need any other reason? Just another day of cleaning up loose ends for the head of the Tono family.
理解していただけて何よりです。
I'm glad you understand.
言うまでもありませんが、私の発言は遠野家当主のものとして受け取ってください。戸籍上ではあなたは私の兄ですが、この家における上下関係はまた別のものです。
I'm sure I don't need to point this out, but as the head of the family, my word is final. You may be my older brother, but your position is beneath mine in this house.
兄さん、私はあなたを兄として尊重しますが、同時にこの家を預かる者としてあなたを遠野家の財産として扱います。
Shiki, I respect you as my brother, but as the master of the house, I must also treat you as an asset. Man, that's cold, bruh.
7年前のことは忘れて、私たちは 当主とその家人であることを肝に銘じてくださいますよう。
I would ask that you forget the past 7 years and obey the will of the family. Akiha speaks without emotion. This is a command from the head of the house, rather than my sibling. It carries an air of cold detachment. But...
それはそれでわかりやすい。
Sure, that makes it easy to understand.
はっきり言ってくれた
Thank
方
you
が
for being
俺もすっ
clear.
きりする。
Thank you for being clear. This is the natural way of things. There's no reason for me to be offended.
私の言葉を理解していますか？
Do you truly understand what I'm saying?
私は兄さんより上の立場でそれを承諾しろと一方的に宣言したつもりですけど。
I do believe I've just told you that my position outranks yours in this house.
わかってるし、文句はないよ。だって、どう考えてもこの扱いになるだろう、今の俺は。
I know, and I have no problem with that. It's only fair given the circumstances.
むしろ、7年間好き放題に生きてきた俺に、妹としてきちんと礼を取ってくれる明葉に感謝してる。
If anything, I appreciate that you still consider me your brother after I avoided all my responsibilities for years.
けど、明葉の考えは別にして、親戚の連中がよく納得したな。俺を有馬の家に預けろって言い出したの、確か親戚の人たちじゃなかったっけ？
I'm surprised you managed to convince our relatives, though. Weren't they the ones who wanted to send me away in the first place?
そうですね。ですが、今の当主は私です。親戚の方たちの進言はすべて却下しました。
Indeed, but I run this family now. Any opposition was quashed immediately. I love that CG right there. Like, she's like, oh nah, hell nah.
この件に関して意見を挟むということは、私に、ひいては遠野に逆らうことだと明言しましたから。
I also warned them that any questioning of my decision would be seen as a direct challenge to my authority. Respect my authority! I'm stunned. Even Makihisa wasn't able to ignore our relatives, but Akiha was able to persuade them? No, if anything, she probably argued them into submission. I see. Akiha has grown in more ways than one, and as her brother, it's a little terrifying.
兄さん、
Shiki,
ぼーっとしたお顔をされていますが、何か。
you seem distracted. Is something the matter?
ああ、いや、感心したというか、感動したというか、本当に当主として認められたんだな。
I'm just blown away. They really recognize you as the head of the family.
当たり前です。そうでもなければ、兄さんを呼び戻せないでしょう。
Of course they do. I wouldn't have been able to bring you back here if they didn't.
話を戻します。
Let us return to the topic at hand.
兄さんには今日からここで暮らしていただきますが、ここにはここの規律があります。今までのような無作法は避けていただきますから、そのつもりで。
Starting today, you will live in the mansion, which means you will follow our rules. I hope you are prepared to act with more suitable manners from now on.
そりゃ無理だよ、明葉。
Hmm? I don't think that's possible, Akiha. I'm kind of a dork. He's such a little goober, I love him.
今さら俺がお行儀いい人間に戻れるわけないし、戻ろうって気もないんだから。
It's too late for me to go back to acting all proper now.
いえ、何があろうと戻っていただきます。
You will find a way.
子供じゃあるまいし、試す前から泣き言は結構です。
I love her. You are not a child. I will not listen to you complain before you even make an attempt.
それとも、私にできたことが兄さんにはできないとおっしゃるのですか?
Unless you think you are incapable of something that I accomplished. Akiha shoots a frigid glare in my direction. It pierces through me like an icicle. There's no doubt about it. 7 years worth of resentment is finally being blasted my way now.
わかった。できるだけ努力はしてみる。
I understand. I will do what I can.
努力はするですか。都合のいい。
Do what you can. Quite the ambiguous answer.
努力をすれば誰であれ報われるとでも。私が求めているのは結果だけですので、そのつもりで。
Do you think you'll be rewarded for trying? What I'm asking for is results. I'm unable to form any kind of response in the face of her ruthless assault.
いいです。兄さんは今まで自由気ままに暮らしていたんですから、すぐに生活を正せとは言いません。
Very well. You have lived freely for a significant period of time. I cannot expect you to change your lifestyle immediately. Oh, why? Stop being cute. She's my sister.
最長で1ヶ月の猶予を差し上げますので、どうぞ死ぬ気で努力してください。
I will grant you a week. You will do everything you can to mend your ways in that time. At the very least, I expect your old habits gone by month's end. Is that clear? Also, why does she have to look so cute with her hand under her cheek? Like, she is a tsundere. Stop being his sister. Like, that's my one complaint about that entire route. I don't think I'll be getting any more time after that. This must be how Akiha makes compromises.
あのですね、そこまで無茶な話ではありませんから。
I assure you, this isn't asking much.
現在、屋敷には兄さんと私しか住んでいません。
You and I are the only ones living in this mansion.
うるさ型の親戚筋がいては、兄さんも落ち着けないでしょうし、私も煩わしいので、人払いは済ませました。
I like her even more. I assumed you would be able to relax more without the nitpicking of our relatives. I found them meddlesome enough as it was, so I had them leave. Like, yeah, I like her. Wait a second. Had them leave, then...
お前、屋敷に居候してる親戚全員追い出したのか?
You kicked all our relatives out of the mansion? I didn't even realize that was possible.
ええ、どうぞお気になさらず。
Yes, please pay it no mind.
家と財産を失いながら何の努力もせず、お父様の温情にすがっていただけの方々です。遅かれ早かれ屋敷から出て行ってもらう予定でした。
They were little more than parasites leeching off the good graces of our father. I would have had them leave sooner or later.
ああ、使用人たちも大部分に暇を出しましたが、私と兄さん付きのものは残しましたので、問題はありません。
Ah, as for servants, I let most go, but I made sure to keep 2 to attend to our personal needs.
いや、問題ないってありすぎるだろ。そんな勝手をしまくったら、次の親戚会議でやり玉にあげられるぞ。
Isn't this a huge problem? Won't they tear you apart at the next family meeting if you keep doing whatever you want?
もう、つべこべ言わないでください。
Oh, please.
兄さんだって屋敷の中に人があふれ返っているより、 私たちしかいない方が気持ちは楽でしょ。
Isn't this preferable to the alternative of having the mansion crawling with people? She's definitely right about that.
いやでもだな、本当にそれでいいのか。
Are you sure about this?
親父だって親戚の意見には逆らわなかったのに、そんな暴君みたいなわがままを通しちまって。
Even Dad couldn't go against them. Will they really let you do as you please?
そうですね。だからお父様は兄さんを有馬の家に預けたんです。けれど私、子供の頃からあの人たちが大嫌いでしたから。
I'm starting to
これ
see
以上
her stance.
どうでもいい彼らの小言を聞くのはごめんです。
You're right. Father allowed himself to be pressured into sending you to the Arima family. But I've despised our relatives since I was a child. I will not allow myself to be bullied by them. So essentially, Makihisa, while an asshole, was pressured more by the other families to bring Shiki to another house. Makes me wonder if they're behind something else nefarious.
ごめんですって、アキハ。
I also believe that Akiha did this to spite them because she likes her brother, and she doesn't want to say it because she's a tsundere. But Akiha...
ああ、もういいから私なんかの心配は結構です。
Come off it. You don't need to worry about me.
そんなことより、兄さんはこれからのご自分の生活を案じてください。いろいろ大変なことになるって目に見えているんだから。
Please focus on your own situation. I don't imagine this will be easy for you. Akiha says this curtly, forcing the conversation in another direction.
状況はご理解いただけたとは思いますが、兄さんはまだ有馬での暮らしが抜けきれていない様子。
I believe you understand your current circumstances, but it seems your manners still need work.
それもいいでしょう。そのための使用人です。
Though I suppose that's to be expected. That is why I made arrangements. Oh no.
この先、わからないことがあったら、この子に言いつけて。
If there is ever anything you're unsure about, please ask this girl here. Hisui. Akiya, without turning, calls the girl waiting at the back of the room. The girl named Hisui takes a step forward and gives a bow. It's a polite, though emotionless bow, like servitude made manifest. It's weird that this is Shiki's servant, whereas Kohaku is much more Shiki's speed.
この子は翡翠、うちの使用人です。
Hisui is one of our housemates.
これから兄さん付きの次女にしますが、よろしいですね。
She will act as your personal attendant. I presume this is acceptable. So she's another one of the housekeepers. Wait, what?
次女ってつまりその。
My attendant? You mean...
わかりやすく言うと、召使いということです。
Yes, to be plain, she is your servant. In the Holy Grail War. I don't believe it. Both Akiha and the girl look like nothing out of the ordinary has been said.
ちょっと待ってくれ。召使いとか大げさすぎないか。自分のことぐらい自分で面倒を見れるっていうか。
Hold on just a second. Isn't this a bit much? I can take care of myself.
食事の支度や洗濯もですか?
You will be making your own meals and doing your own laundry then? Akiha's sure on point. I wish I had a laundry maid myself.
ともかく、この屋敷に戻ってきた以上、私の指示には従ってもらいます。
Regardless, now that you have returned to the mansion, you will obey my commands. I do not know.
どう暮らしていたかは知りませんが、 これからの兄さんは遠野家で暮らす遠野家の長男なんです。
I do not know what your life was like with the Arimas, but here you are the eldest son of the Tono family.
相応の待遇は義務として受け入れてください。
I expect you to begin acting as such. No fraternizing with all the girls here. If you so much as kiss them, I will slap you. My gaze wanders over to the girl clad in maid attire. Hisui shows little emotion on her face. She looks like a doll as she returns my gaze.
それじゃあ翡翠、兄さんを部屋に案内してあげて。
Now, Hisui, please escort my brother to his room.
この人は右も左もわからない子猫と変わらないようですから。この広い屋敷でいきなり迷子になる。
This boy is nothing more than a lost kitten that doesn't know right from left. We wouldn't want him losing his way in this big mansion.
かしこまりました、秋葉様。
Of course, Mistress Akiha. Hisui bows to Akiha and walks towards me quietly. She looks toward me, but her gaze is fixed in a way that ensures our eyes don't meet. Her steps are measured, but far from slow. I can tell she's done this for a long time.
あ、それと兄さん、長男といえどこの屋敷では禁止された事柄、立ち入ってはいけない場所があります。それを犯したりすることのないように。
Oh, and Shiki, you may be the eldest, but there are places in this mansion where you are not welcome. Do be careful, will you?
翡翠には兄さんのお守りも命じてありますから、翡翠の進言にはできる限り耳を傾けてください。
Hisui has also been ordered to protect you, so please be sure to heed her advice.
それお守りじゃなくて監視役って言わないか。
Protect me? Don't you mean monitor me? No, she's actually a bodyguard. Haven't you heard of this? Like, it's Artemis Fowl 101. The butler, the maid. Hell, even in DuckTales, the maid is a spy and a bodyguard. You just need someone to help you out in a situation, especially if ghost ninjas attack. Stop laughing, that once happened.
翡翠もそんな役割から解放されます。
I will relieve Hisui of this duty if you prove to be capable of conducting yourself appropriately.
それではまた夕食の席で。
Until dinner, then. Akiha must be busy if she can't spare any more time than this.
お部屋にご案内いたします、四季様。
I will show you to your room, Master Shiki. Hisui moves towards the door, paying my obvious confusion no mind. Huh? I sigh as I leave the office. Oh, that was a sigh. Phew. Alright, and now I've actually reached a point where I can stop.
Ha! No!
We make our way back out to the second floor lobby. The lobby splits the Tono mansion into two wings. It's like a giant bird in flight, extending its wings far in both directions. Each wing is roughly the size of a small hospital. I vaguely recall that the building is symmetrical, with the same number of rooms on both sides.
四季様のお部屋はこちらです。
Your room is this way, Master Shiki. Instead of descending the stairs, Hisui continues along the walkway overlooking the lobby towards the west wing. I guess that means my room is on the second floor of the west wing. Or it could be in the attic. It could be outside. Oh god, those curtains look nice.
The sun has already set outside. Blue carpets line the hallway, extending in either direction. The interior decorating is actually really nice. The uniform white walls bring a castle to mind. The maid walks down the hallway, lit by warm orange lights. Even the music is regal. It's like, man, I would love to live here, but how would you afford it? How would you afford that? It's like something out of a fairy tale. No filter between brain and mouth here.
シキ様、何かご質問でも？
Is there anything I can help you with, Master Shiki?
いや、ただの独り言だから気にしないでくれ。
No, I was just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. Hisui gives a slight bow after glancing at me, and continues walking again. I don't know what to say. And that's not the first time since returning to the mansion. Floors made with expensive teak wood. A ceiling that must be at least 3 meters high. I'm not sure what that is in actual measurements in American, but that's pretty high.
Oh my! Huh? An American! There's an American among us!
I think I can see a sunroom further down the hall. The room Hisui shows me to isn't where you'd expect a high schooler to live.
俺の部屋ってここ。
This room is for me?
はい。ご不満がおありのようでしたら、違うお部屋をご用意させていただきますが。
Yes, though I can show you to another room if this isn't to your liking.
いや、不満なんてあるわけないけど、その。
No, there's no problem with it at all. It's just... It's way too fancy for me.
シキ様。
Master Shiki?
いいんだ。なんでもない。
Never mind, it's nothing.
喜んでこの部屋を使わせてもらうよ。
I'd be glad to have this room.
はい。お部屋は7年前から手を加えていませんので、不自由はないと思います。
Understood. Nothing has been changed since you stayed here, so I trust you will find it to your liking. Does that mean...
ちょっといいかな。
Can I ask you a question?
ここ7年前は俺の部屋だったとか。
Is this the room I used to live in?
そう伺っておりますが、違うのですか？
So I have heard. Am I mistaken? Hisui tilts her head slightly. Tilt. I feel a little better. So she isn't completely devoid of emotion.
まあ、言われてみれば確か
に。Now that you mention it, you're right.
少しは覚えがあるし、きっとそうだったんだろう。
It does look familiar somehow. This doesn't feel like my room at all, but I guess that's what happens when you've been gone for 7 years.
けど、やっぱり落ち着かないな。今朝まで4畳半の部屋で暮らしてたからさ、高級ホテルに泊まりに来たみたいだ。
It's just gonna take some adjusting. This morning, my room was barely big enough for a bed and a desk. And now it's a room out of a luxury hotel.
お気持ちはわかりますが、どうかお慣れください。
I understand how you feel, but please try to grow accustomed to your station.
シキ様は今日から遠野家のご長男なのですから。
You are the eldest son of the Tono family from today.
まあ、そうだね。 せめて外見ぐらいは笑われないように頑張ってみるよ。
Yeah, I guess. I'll do my best not to become Yeah, I guess. I'll do my best not to become a laughingstock at least. I set my bag on the desk and stretch. I'm still a bit overwhelmed by everything, but I don't have much choice other than to just get used to it. At the very least, I need to be comfortable enough to relax in my own space.
それと昨夜のうちに届いたお荷物はすべて運び込みましたが問題はありませんか？
Your belongings arrived last night, and I took the liberty of bringing them here. Is everything accounted for?
いや、別にないけど。
As far as I can tell, yeah.
あ、なんか持ち込んじゃいけないものでもあったとか。
Oh, was there something I'm not allowed to have?
いえ、お荷物が少なすぎるようですから。
No, there was just little to speak of. I thought something might have been misplaced.
必要なものがあればご用意いたしますのでどうかお聞かせください。
Please let me know if there's anything you require, as I would be happy to procure it for you.
そっか。いや、とりあえず足りないものはないよ。
Gotcha. I think I'm okay for now.
もともと荷物は少ないんだ。自分の荷物って言ったら、そのカバンとこのメガネと。
I don't have much stuff in the first place. All I really need is that bag, my glasses, and, I'm gonna try to predict what he's gonna say next. A cat. A cat. He needs a cat. The only things in my bag are my textbooks and a white ribbon I've kept for a long time.
ともかく荷物のことは気にしないでいい。
Anyways, you don't need to worry about my stuff.
こんな立派な部屋だけで十分だ。
This room by itself is more than enough for me.
かしこまりました。
Understood.
では1時間後にお呼びに参ります。
I will call for you in 1 hour then.
1時間後ってもしかして夕食？
In an hour? For dinner, you mean, right?
はい。それまでどうぞおくつろぎください。
Yes. Please feel free to relax until then. Hisui says, devoid of emotion as seems to be her usual. But now my problem is how to kill an hour. It's just past 6 o'clock. If it were yesterday, I would just play with my phone or watch some TV in the living room, but I can't see the mansion having a place for people to get together and wind down.
翡翠、つまらないことを聞くけどさ。
Hisui, can I ask you a stupid question?
この屋敷にテレビとか通信回線とかあるの？
Does the mansion have internet or a TV?
テレビと通信回線ですか？
Internet or a TV? Hisui narrows her eyes ever so slightly. Even asking the question gives me a headache. Asking about modern luxuries in a decadent, old-fashioned mansion like this seems wrong. And this was 2014, so they should at least have internet. I mean, I had internet.
今にはありません。西館には娯楽室がありますが、こちらは鍵がかけられています。
They don't even have... Wow. Wow. Okay, that's weird. I don't believe either are available in the parlor.
There is a recreation room in the West Wing, but it is currently locked.
先日まで逗留なされていた皆様は私物を持ち込まれていましたが、出立される時に荷物はお持ち帰りいただきましたので、残ってはいないと思います。
Our guests that left us recently had items for personal use, but they were asked to take their things with them.
アキハが追い出した親戚筋か。逗留って誰がどのくらいしてたんだ？
Do you mean the relatives Akiha chased out? Actually, who was here? And how long did they stay?
久我峰様のご長男とそのご家族の皆様が1階に士官の3部屋を。
The eldest Kugamine and his family stayed in the third room of the West Wing's first floor.
東崎様のご三女とその婚約者の方が2階に士官の角部屋を。
The third daughter of the Tozuki family and her fiancé stayed in the corner room of the West Wing's second floor.
木島様のご長男が1階東館の1部屋を。
The eldest son of the Kishima family stayed in the first room of the East Wing's first floor.
皆様、3年ほどお過ごしになられました。
They all stayed with us for 3 years.
あとは確か先代である牧久様の主治医様が屋敷に逗留されていたと聞いています。
Lastly, I was told that Master Makihisa's personal physician was also staying in the mansion.
3年後か。なあ翡翠、そういうのって逗留って言うんじゃなくて居候って言うんじゃないか。
3 whole years. That sounds more like freeloading than being a guest, don't you think? Hisui doesn't answer. Her position as a housemaid must prevent her from voicing her personal opinions about the guests. Regardless, if they've taken all their belongings with them, I can't expect to find anything I can use. Still, 2014, no TV or internet? That's kind of weird. Oh, I see. Makihisa hated any kind of modern convenience, so I can't imagine he would have allowed them access to the internet or TV. Okay, I'm gonna stop for a second. Makihisa was a business mogul. Like, that's not a convenience. That's something you need for business to stay ahead. Just to understand, like, where things are in your company, to be able to talk to people, to see the stock market on the internet? Like, what? Akiha must have taken after our father.
ないからって別に死ぬわけでもないか。
Well, not like I'll die without them or anything. Well, you won't. I'm just saying it's weird. Like, when I grew up in the 90s, you know, back when I was alive, and even still, we had a computer in our house, and yeah, we limited the use, but this isn't something for pleasure or leisure. This is something that you could use to peruse something for business. I don't get it. If nothing else, I still have my phone. And you all still have Zoidberg. I take it out of my pocket and check the time. It's silly to think I was actually worried I might not get service here. It may not be much, but I'm relieved to have at least some way of connecting to the internet. Then again, back then there were probably flip phones. I'd expected to be stuck without one, considering how out of this world this place is. Meanwhile, Hisui is silent. I don't know if it's just her trying to be professional, but Hisui doesn't speak unless it's necessary, or she's asked something. Not being used to having a personal attendant, it's a little unnerving. I'd like to try and make her smile somehow, but it's not going to be easy.
確か1階の西館の方に書庫があったっけ？
I think I remember a library on the first floor of the West Wing.
暇な時はそこから何か見繕うことにするよ。
I'll have to make use of it when I find some time. Just stare. Hisui doesn't respond. She's looking in my direction, but her eyes are fixed on the empty space next to me, rather like a cat. Huh. That's the third kitty cat analogy that we've seen so far. I wonder if there's a connection.
Hisui?
Hisui? Hisui says nothing. Until she suddenly returns her gaze to me.
姉さんの部屋にならあると思います。
I believe my sister may have one in her room. Huh. I blurt out without meaning to. Could she mean
ですからテレビです。
a television?
以前姉さんの部屋で見かけた記憶がありますから。
I believe I saw one in my sister's room once. Hisui says, like she's recalling a memory from long ago.
よかった。ここでもそれぐらいはあるんだ。ってちょっと待って。
That's a relief to hear. I guess not even the mansion is safe from modernization. Actually, hold on a second.
姉さんってもしかして琥珀さんのこと？
Sister, do you mean Kohaku?
はい。現在このお屋敷で働かせていただいているものは私と姉さんの二人きりです。
Yes, my sister and I are the only ones working here in the mansion. Now that I think about it, they do look a lot alike. Although, I'm sorry, Kohaku supremacy. Hisui is so different from her cheery sister. I didn't even consider that they might be related. They have the same hair type and they look nearly identical.
そっか。あの人なら確かにバラエティ番組を見てそうなキャラクターだ。
Huh. She does seem like she'd be into comedies. I stopped short of asking to use it, as I feel too embarrassed to go into her room. Look, that's a prime opportunity to get in touch with girls. Like, then again, Akiha would probably forbid it, but like, you know, teenage boy.
ごめん。この話はなかったことにしてくれ。
Sorry, just forget I ever brought it up.
これからここで暮らすんだから、屋敷のルールには従わなくっちゃいけないしね。
I need to follow the rules if I'm gonna be living here, right? So, no girls, no kohaku, no television. God, this is gonna suck. I don't think Akiha would ever let me live it down if I spent my first night back lounging in front of the TV. I'll act the perfect little student, someone worthy of the Tono name, blah 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 blah.
夕食まで部屋にいるから、時間になったら呼びに来てくれ。翡翠だって他にやることはあるだろ。
I'll stay in my room until dinner. Would you call me when it's time? I'm sure you have other things you need to do. Hisui nods affirmatively and puts her hand on the doorknob. The door opens with a faint squeak. Hisui leaves the room after a small bow. I dine with Akiha. Oh god, that table is way too big for 4 people. 2 of which are not going to be actually sitting down and eating because they're wait staff. Both Kohaku and Hisui are completely devoted to serving the 2 of us. Servants aren't allowed to dine at the same table as their masters. It goes without saying, but having grown up with the Arimas, this setup makes me uncomfortable. It would make me uncomfortable. Hell, Batman doesn't even live like this. I've also completely forgotten about table manners. Which fork do I use again? Might as well use a spoon instead. Humans have evolved the ability to remove useless pieces of information from their minds, which means any memories I had of table etiquette are long gone. I wonder which memories that I have forgotten. Memories of being alive? Let's not dwell on that too long. Every movement I make elicits a raised eyebrow from Akiha. It's nerve-wracking, but it does spice up our mealtime. To be honest, the idea that I'll be doing this every day from now on is disheartening. Dinner ends in silence. I was so desperate to remember my table manners, I wasn't even able to come up with any small talk. Akiha seemed displeased the entire time. Hisui and Kohaku have just finished taking away our plates when the reckoning... I'm sorry. I didn't realize what that word actually was until I tried to say it.
やはり徹底的な再教育が必要なようですね。
It seems a thorough re-education is in order after all, she says plainly. The cold, cruel comment reverberates around the dining room. The reckoning is at hand.
誰にどのような
For who and what kind?
兄さんにふさわしい心構えをです。
You, to enforce proper behavior, of course. I knew it. So that's what she was thinking about while raising her eyebrows at me.
その具体的には
So, what does that mean?
まずは生活習慣の改善。夜間の外出は当然禁止です。門限は8時とします。
First, we will be implementing some lifestyle changes. Your curfew will be 8 p.m., and there will be no going outside at night. What does that have to do with proper etiquette?
どのような理由であれ、外出の時は私か琥珀、翡翠の許可を取るように。
You will obtain permission from me, Kohaku, or Hisui before leaving the mansion for any reason. Huh? An 8 p.m. curfew? How old does she think I am? More importantly, I need permission just to leave?
待て待て、それは
Wait. Back up a bit. Like, what?
休日の学習スケジュールはこちらで立てておきます。
I will draft a study regimen for your weekends.
報告によると、兄さんの成績は中の中だそうですね。
According to the reports I've received, your grades are as average can be.
まったく。相変わらず効率よく手を抜くのだけは得意なようで。
I swear, the only thing you're good at is slacking off. Look, average is fine.
とんでもない。俺はいつだって全力だ。
Rude. I give everything my all.
ですが、この屋敷にいる間は本気を出していただきますから。 そのつもりで。
As long as you reside in this mansion, you will take these things seriously.
兄さんはやればできる人なんですから、お体のことを考慮しても学年3位以内は当然でしょ。
You are capable, regardless of your condition. I'm sure you will have no issue reaching the top 3 of your class. Wow. My sister is painfully overestimating me. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, oh, you're just gonna be the top 3 of your class like that. Okay. And it's scary how much she knows about my grades.
他の習い事はもう少し落ち着いてからにしましょうか。
Let us continue these lessons once you're more settled in.
それでは兄さん、本題のあれを出してください。
Now then, please take it out, Cheeky.
はい。
What? Nani? What does she mean by it?
It.
あれといえばあれです。
What else could I be referring to?
あるでしょう。兄さんのズボンにも若者の象徴のような汚らわしいあれが。
The degenerate thing young people keep hidden in their pants. Excuse me? Excuse me. This can be taken the entirely wrong way.
それを隠さずに出しなさいと言っているのです。
I'm telling you to take it out already. Jeez.
いや、ますますわからない。
Whoa, what the hell are you saying?
これが上流階級のすることか。一般市民を何だと思ってるんだ、お前は。
Is this really what the upper class is about? You think you can do whatever you want to us normal folks?
ですから、携帯端末を出してください。
What? I'm telling you to show me your mobile device. I knew what she was talking about, and even then I'm like, you're wording, like, bruh.
兄さんだって持っているんでしょ。
You have one, don't you?
なるほど。
Fine. I take out my phone from my back pocket. As soon as I place it on the table, Hisui wordlessly takes the phone and gives it to Akiha.
これは没収します。当家ではこの手の電子機器は禁止です。健全な学生には不要なものですから。
I will be confiscating this. A growing young student like yourself has no use for it. Bullshit. Okay. Let's think about this for a couple seconds. All right. Phone, communication device, having a mobile for friends. Okay. 2, internet, looking things up, studying, education. 3, games. There's plenty of reasons to have a phone, even if it's not just recreational. Like, what the hell?
電話ならロビーの備え付けのものを使うように。調べ物がしたいのでしたら図書室をどうぞ。
You may use the phone in the lobby if you need to contact someone. If you wish to research something, you are welcome to use the library. But what about stuff that's not in the library? What about things that haven't been added to your collection of books? Akiha cuts our one-sided conversation short and leaves the dining room. I find myself stunned into silence for the nth time today. I was never super attached to my phone. I mostly used it for texting and to check the news when I had some free time, though, like most people, I consider it a basic necessity. And that's true, because you kinda need it for news. It's a basic necessity. It's another reminder of how strict the Tono household really is. I mean, banning phones in this day and age. Even my parents never did that. I return to my room now that dinner is finished. It's just past 9:30 p.m. I spent about 2 hours in the dining room in the end. That's a long time to eat.
お帰りなさいませ、四季様。ご指示はありませんでしたが、就寝の支度をさせていただきました。
Welcome back, Master Shiki. I took the liberty of preparing your bed. Hisui greets me as soon as I enter my bedroom. I see my bed waiting for me, neatly made. She was a step ahead of me, it seems.
ありがとう。
Oh, thank you.
寝巻きはそちらのものをお使いください。
I've prepared pajamas as well, so please change into them at your leisure.
着ていらしたお洋服はそちらのカゴに入れ、廊下に出しておいてくだされば助かります。
Any clothing you've worn for the day can be placed in the basket over there. If you could leave it out in the hall when you are finished, that would be most appreciated. A wicker basket is placed at the foot of the bed. I assume if I put my dirty clothes in here and place it in the hallway, then Hisui will clean them for me. This is starting to feel even more like some upscale hotel.
何かご質問はございますか？
Do you have any questions? Hisui stands there, as still as a statue. I have plenty of questions, but it dawns on me that I know very little about Hisui or Kohaku.
あまり関係ない話なんだけど、いいかい？
Can I ask you something completely off topic?
はい、何でしょう？
Of course. What is it?
翡翠と琥珀さんがここでどんな仕事をしてるのか知りたいんだけど、どうかな？
I'd like to know more about the work you and Kohaku do here, if you don't mind.
私が四季様付きで、姉の琥珀は秋葉お嬢様のお世話をさせていただいております。お二人が留守の間は屋敷の管理を任されていますが、それが何か？
My sister is assigned to take care of Mistress Akiha, while I will be attending to your needs, Master Shiki. We make sure everything in the mansion is in order while you two are away. Is there anything else?
お世話って、やっぱりそういうことか。
Attending to my needs, so it is like that. My shoulders feel heavy. Akiha explained everything like it went without saying, but I'm just a normal high school student. I don't have much interest in being waited on hand and foot by a girl my own age.
四季様付きってことは、俺専用の使用人ってこと？
Does that mean you're my personal housekeeper?
はい、何なりと申し付けてください。
Yes, please don't hesitate to call on me if there's anything you require. Hisui bows deeply. My chest tightens with guilt.
わかった。秋葉のあの言いぶりじゃ、俺を一人にはしないだろうし、そもそも俺の気持ちの問題で君を解雇させるのは良くはないと思う。ありがたくお世話になるけど。
Understood. Based on what Akiha said, I'm sure she doesn't want you to leave me alone, and I can't just ask you to stop, so I'll accept your help, but...
何か特別なご要望でもあるのですか？
Do you have a special request of some kind?
そんな大それたことじゃなくて、その四季様っていうのは ちょっと。
It's nothing big, really. I just can't get into being called master.
俺はそんな柄じゃないし、正直に白状すると分不相応すぎて首根っこをつかまれた気分になる。
I'm no one special, and if I'm being honest, it makes me feel so out of place. It's like someone's got me by the collar.
ですが、四季様は私の主人です。
But you are my master, Master Shiki.
そうは言うけど、俺は今日まで普通に生きてきた身なんだ。
You say that, but I was just a normal person until today.
帰ってきただけなのに、同い年ぐらいの子に様付けで呼ばれる生活とか、ちょっと難しい。
Being called master by a girl my age just for coming back home is a little much to me. Hisui seems nonplussed.
俺のことは遠野さんとか四季さんでいいよ。堅苦しいのはなしにしたいんだ。
You can just call me Shiki. No need for that formal stuff.
こっちも君を翡翠さんって呼ぶからさ。
And I'll call you Hisui. Hisui, though otherwise expressionless, lowers her eyebrows and bites her lip. Man, I wanted to make things easier for her, but it looks like it may have had the opposite effect.
ですが、あなたは私の雇い主ですから。
But you are my master.
俺が雇ってるわけじゃないだろ。
I'm not the one hiring you, right?
失礼ながら、それは同じことです、四季様。
Excuse my frankness, but the circumstances remain the same.
私どもは遠野家に仕える者。ご当主様もご親族の方も、共に尊ぶべき主であることに変わりはありません。
I'm employed by the Tono family. Whether I am assigned to the head of the family or another member, that does not change how I must address you.
ですので、どうか私のことは翡翠とだけお呼びください。
I ask that you consider me your humble servant.
お使いする方に継承で呼ばれる使用人の心境を察していただければ幸いです。
To do otherwise would be to disregard my place in this manner. Please understand. Wow, this is a very class-driven place. Like, I get it that it's drilled into their heads, but geez. Hard to argue against that. Her answer really does fit that of a manor servant. At least just let me call you by their first name or, something simple. You're a friend, not a servant.
俺にできないことをやってくれるんだから、ありがたがるのはこっちなんだけど。
Oh well, I should be the one thanking you for everything you do. Arguing would only serve to trouble her further. I'll refrain from voicing my own opinions on the matter for now.
呼び方、翡翠でいいんだね。
So, I'll call you Hisui then?
はい。何としてもそのように。
Yes, please. Her please has a bit of punch to it.
わかった。じゃあそのように。
Okay, I'll make sure to do that.
でも、俺に対してあんまり堅苦しいのはなしにしてほしい。お姉さんの琥珀さんにもそう伝えてくれるとありがたい。
But I'd appreciate it if you avoided being too formal with me. If you could tell Kohaku that as well, that would be great.
はい。四季様がそうおっしゃるのなら。
Of course, whatever you say, Master Shiki. Hisui lowers her head gracefully. Alright, looks like we've got a long ways to go until we can talk casually. And it's still not even the second day. Hisui leaves the room after bowing. The moment I'm alone, a wave of exhaustion crashes over me. A lot happened today. That no kidding there. Like, we've been in this day for quite a while. My body is crying out for some much needed rest. And so is Kana. Kana is calling for me. Have you finished? Come here, Kana. Have you finished with those games, Kana? Have you finished with the games? Yeah, she has. You did a good job, kitty. Good job. You don't need to call me master. I turn out the light and lie in the bed. I can tell I'll sleep like a rock. I try to fight against the sleep creeping in. Kinda. Careful. Careful. I'm somehow able to keep my eyes open, but it's a losing battle. No matter how hard I fight, I fall deeper. That's just how the human body is built. I stare at the ceiling, still in the space between consciousness and sleep. Back after 7 years. Seeing family again. It still feels like someone else's house. But you're home now, I say, trying to accept everything. My consciousness slips away as I sink into a deep slumber. A mansion on a high hill, far away from the bustling of the town. Like an island surrounded by a sea of trees. I come to the conclusion the instant my eyes close. It's like a prison. I awake suddenly. Nobody woke me, nor did I hear a sound. It just happened, seemingly for no reason. I wonder how long it's been since I woke up in the middle of the night. I get up, feeling like I've forgotten something. A shiver of unease creeps over me as I exit my room. I start down the hallway in search of a glass of water to slake my thirst. Slake? Wouldn't it be sate? Slake. That's a weird word. Oh, that music. Something bad's gonna happen. The long, moonlit hallway lies before me. The night is totally silent. This all feels so familiar. Oh. I must have done exactly this when I was younger. I find myself wandering to the stairs, aimlessly yet not. There, a hidden section of the mansion. The stairs connect not only the first and second floors, but also to an attic, by way of a secret passage. It seems even the people living here have long forgotten this place. The room, once used for storage,
shows no trace of anyone having used it in years. Despite being midway through October, it's unseasonably cold tonight. Happy Halloween. I rummage through the room, hoping to find a blanket. An old cabinet catches my eye. I open each drawer. I find some odds and ends, but little of note. There's nothing worthwhile in the drawers. Even the giant chest I open has only a few scattered stones inside. A badge, a few trinkets, a pair of binoculars, all things a child might collect. Among them, a single thing stands out, different from everything else. Stained bandages, sealed in a clear plastic case. They're rolled up neatly, but so old, they can never be used. There's nothing here. I shut the drawer and start back to my room. Upon exiting the room, I realize my cheeks are wet. I wonder, could I have used this place when I was a child? And we got a trophy, Homecoming. Well, damn, that was, I do want to save, yes. Alright, Phil wants me to create a new save, so we're going to create a new save. A day that was not. Okay. But also, I feel like this is a good stopping point, because I wanted to go a little bit further at first, but that ending has me thinking. So I'm going to state some thoughts. We're going to end it here, and kind of go from there. So, okay. So, a lot of this was things to think about. Like, there's conflict in every section of this game so far. And one thing that really caught my attention is, like, first of all, there's a lot of regret and conflict between him and Akiha. The gap in technology, the gap in status, and the way they view each other. There's a lot of regret here. There's difference in status between him and Hisui, and he tries to make things more normal for him. But much like Akiha, they can't bridge that gap. And then there's Kohaku, which doesn't seem befitting of her station. She's not cold and reserved. And that's kind of interesting there. I don't know what to think about Goto, because he seems like he resents Shiki for something in the past that he can't remember. But he can't remember a lot, and I'm wondering specifically why he can't remember things. What these bandages refer to, the fact that he's automatically going there, and he cries at the end. There's just a lot of feelings and emotions in this chapter, and I wonder if it has something to do with the night where people were torn apart. There's so many questions that I have, but I think it's best to end it here. What are your predictions? What do you think is gonna happen? Who is your favorite character? Currently mine's Kohaku. What do you think? In any case, I am Zenith, Warrior Princess, the cutest of ghost buns, saying, keep your memory sharp. Because while memories do fade in time, they will always come back to haunt you if you don't honor your memories. Have a good one, everybody!